gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, isn't it?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. You look good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to Off the Air on a Monday here in the Quad Cities. It is Monday, March 31st, the last day of March. The madness is nearly over. Of course, the March Madness is not. We'll talk about a Final Four that we have coming up on today's show and a lot more. But first and foremost, I want to thank everyone who's watching, our everydayers who watch every day. We extremely appreciate what you guys do. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for doing that. Hopefully you're subscribing. If you are subscribed, tell a friend or 2 or 10 or 20 or 100, because we're real close to 900. We are at 895. So crazy goal. My goal is I want to get this thing to 1,000 by next weekend. Throughout this week, we're going to grow this thing, get it to 1,000. That's where I want to be. So hopefully you guys can help spread the word about Off the Air with Matt Randazzo every day right here in the Quad Cities at 10 o'clock. We're also live on X. Excited about that. X has been very, very good to us. So if you're watching us live on X, we appreciate that as well. Go ahead, retweet it, repost it, whatever it is called these days, and spread the word there as well. And also, we will be on all podcasting platforms as soon as this thing gets done. I go downstairs, grab a little lunch, come back upstairs, and get this thing posted to the podcasting platform right away. So wherever you get podcasts from, you should be able to find Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. That includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, Podbean, you name it. We should be there. If there's one that you cannot find us on, let me know. Direct message me, get a hold of me. We'll get it up there and there as well. Get it up on that as well. So a big show on a Monday. We had a great week last week, an awesome week. Numbers were huge. Loved the viewership. Loved you guys tuning in. Absolutely loved the guests last week as well. But we're going to start this week off pretty darn good as well. For the third straight show, we'll talk to a Hawkeye player that just got out of the transfer portal. If you're an Iowa fan, though, this is the first one who got out of the portal and went back to the University of Iowa. Coming up in a matter of moments, Cooper Koch, the Iowa freshman, soon to be sophomore, probably redshirt freshman next year. Very talented player. Only played like 6 or 10 games this freshman year because of injury. We'll talk about that injury. Going back to the University of Iowa, he committed back to Ben McCollum on Sunday. So we'll talk a lot to Cooper Koch coming up here in a matter of moments. Later in hour one, really excited to chat with Darien Porter. Of course, Darien Porter is a former Bettendorf standout, had an amazing season as a senior at cornerback for Iowa State, then went to the combine and blew everyone away. A 4.3 flat. He's projected in most mock drafts to be at least a second-round pick. I've seen him once or twice in the first round, so it's going to be a big April for Darien Porter, former Bettendorf and Iowa standout. But before he does all that, he joins us right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo coming up later in hour number one. And of course, it is Monday, and he's usually off the top with us, so you're going to have to wait a little bit. But Pat Angerer is here with life lessons, knowledge. Who knows what Pat's going to talk about. But we got Pat Angerer in hour number 2 of our show today. So another big show to get to. As we mentioned, last week was great. Owen Freeman, Brock Harding, Charles Jugasol, Trey Taylor, Chad Leistico, Keith Murphy, Scott Docterman, Tom Kakert, you name it. Andrew Lehman announcing another concert coming to the Quad Cities at the John Deere Classic on Saturday. Always got to make sure we keep Andrew happy. So Andrew Lehman was on last week as well. So huge week last week. Mike Gazelle. I'm missing people as I go, so I'm going to shut up. But last week, a lot of fun. This week, we're going to have it packed once again. Already a great show today. We're going to have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, some stuff already lined up. Just a heads up, no show on Friday. I got some stuff going on. I'm taking Friday off. I'm giving myself a day off on Friday. So, but we're getting rolling with a great show today. Some headlines from the weekend, of course, the Final Four is set. It is all number 1 seeds. I've heard people complain about that, and I don't really understand why people are complaining about that. We got 2 really good matchups against the 4 best teams in the country next weekend, and then we'll have a great national championship game. I love March Madness. I like the Cinderella stories for a while, but you're going to get the best 4 basketball teams playing basketball next weekend. I think that's a good thing. Also, the transfer portal combat, if you will, is in full swing. For the Fighting Illini, Morris Johnson and Trey White have both entered the transfer portal. They hosted Iowa's Josh Dix yesterday. They're hosting Price Sanford as well. So we'll see if the Illini can snag a couple Hawkeyes, if those 2 go back to Iowa City, or actually where they do go. It's going to be an interesting time when it comes to the transfer portal. Major League Baseball's first weekend is officially in the books. If you're a St. Louis Cardinal fan, you're feeling pretty good right now. You're 3-0 on the young season. The hope of 162-0 still alive down at Busch Stadium. A not very full Busch Stadium, but I don't want to get into that. So the Cardinals are 3-0. Cubs 2-4. They could have been 3-3 and had a nice start after Japan. But, of course, the bullpen blew another one yesterday. So they are 2-4. And the White Sox looked good in their opener. They won. And then they got back to being the White Sox. They are 1-2 on the young season. So we'll talk a lot about that. We'll get you updated on our bracket challenge coming up in a little bit later in the show. Who's winning, who could win, all that fun stuff coming up. But we start out the week with the second commitment. Just 2, but this is the second commitment to Ben McCollum at the University of Iowa. Hawkeye, who wasn't a Hawkeye, who is now a Hawkeye again. Cooper Koch joining us right now. Cooper, it was a good weekend for you. I know a few years ago you selected the University of Iowa. You did it again on Sunday. What was that commitment like, and what made you recommit to the University of Iowa?
It was a kind of chaotic process in those a week, 10 days that I was in the portal. A lot of phone calls and just kind of a lot of chaos. I really like Coach McCollum and what he did at Drake and Northwest Missouri the last few years. I think he's a great coach, great basketball mind, and I'm looking forward to playing for him.
I want to ask you about last time compared to this time. And I know I've talked to Brock and Owen both about the transfer portal, and it's like speed dating. You kind of got to do things quick, get information quick. It wasn't that way when you were in high school. What's the difference between that first go round and now this time where things are probably sped up a little bit, if you will?
Yeah, for sure. The first time around, I was getting texted and called to come on visits when I was like a freshman. So I had basically 3 years to decide, but now I had a month. But I did it in 10 days. So it was pretty chaotic. And the first time around, I chose Iowa because Fran McCaffrey, loved him, loved the style of play. And I think just being a Hawkeye drew me back this time.
I love it. You talk about that. You mentioned it. You didn't take the full month. You took 10 days. You must have liked what you saw. Can you talk about that? Because you had another couple weeks, 3 weeks if you wanted to. What made you say on Sunday, Ben McCollum is my guy, this is where I want to be?
He showed me some film about how he used to play. Because I know everybody talks about, they play slow, but that's not his usual game. Usually he's got 3, 6, 7 players out there that are going to be shooters that can space the floor. So it's hard to guard. You got good action with those guys. And I think I fit that mold, and I'm excited to be a part of that.
His personality, what is that like? I in my opinion, he had a grand slam when it came to his press conference and all of that. Talk about his personality and how you guys got along, and it seems obviously it was good, or you wouldn't be wearing black and gold once again.
Yeah, I think he's got a great personality. I think he's going to click with the fans right away and help bring life back to Carver. He's a great basketball mind. I've had multiple conversations with him, and he's really energetic and he's really passionate about it. So I think it's going to be a great fit.
Cooper, he's introduced as the University of Iowa head coach, and he's there not calling out, but saying your name in particular, and Josh and Price. When you hear that, did that surprise you? And obviously it had to help a little bit to have the guy who's getting all this attention start talking about you guys.
Mm-hmm. I was actually at the press conference. I was in the back trying to be discreet, but it does mean something when the new head coach is saying that he wants you back, you three. And it kind of means something, saying that we are Hawkeyes by blood and that we should stay. And he said he wanted people reaching out and texting us, and that's exactly what happened. I had my phone blowing up on Instagram and text messages just telling people saying, hey, we want you back, you need to be a Hawkeye. So I wouldn't say it influenced me a lot, but there was definitely a little bit.
Not that I'm putting you on the spot or anything, but do you turn into a recruiter now? Do you get into other players' ear, aka Price and Josh, and kind of try to convince them to join you, maybe?
Yeah, I've talked to them a little bit. I'm trying to be a recruiter. I wouldn't say I'm the best at it, but I'm trying to get them to come back. I know they want to, but they got good options out there.
Absolutely. I don't want to get specific if you don't want to about options, but you had good options too. To be back in the game again and to, I don't want to say get love from other schools, but to know that you're wanted. What was that like? It's almost reaffirming your talent, isn't it, to have other schools that interested in you?
Yeah, it was definitely kind of brought you back to the first time around with recruiting. The school that I was definitely thinking about was DePaul. They were really heavy on me. They got a great coaching staff, but in the end, I felt like I needed to be a Hawkeye, so I came back for 4 years, maybe 5.
Cooper, talk to me about the decision to get in. What was that time like for you guys? Not just you, because everybody got in. What led you to get in to the portal? And obviously it was a crazy weekend or 5 days after Fran got let go.
Yeah, the first week after getting back from the Big Ten tournament was kind of crazy. Guys entering the portal right away, coach getting fired, all that stuff. So the first few days back at home, I just kind of relaxed and thought about it and just kind of took it all in. And then we're like, okay, we need to do this, one, because we don't know who the coach is going to be. And 2, it's basically to protect myself. And just in case something were to happen, I have options out there.
Absolutely. Your freshman season, 10 games. And I watched you play in high school. I'm good friends with Jim Madsen, who can't say enough great things about you. Yeah. I know your game. I remember your old man, which makes me an old man. But 10 games I know was frustrating. Can you talk about your freshman season? What led you to not be on the court as much as you wanted to be?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, during the summer. So I've kind of been dealing with this lung thing since around 8th grade. But during this summer, my lung collapsed again. So we had to have surgery, and I was out for like close to 2 months. So I was back in played in the first six games, I think. And then it happened again. Yeah. And so we were going to do surgery right then at the hospital. And coach was like, well, we gotta take a second, make sure this is the right thing. And so he sent us up to Mayo Clinic. We went up there and they said, we don't think you need surgery, or the collapse wasn't big enough to do surgery. So then we said, screw it. We're just going to go full board, and whatever happens, happens, because we know we have the red shirt to fall back on. And that's what we ended up doing.
What was the freshman season like? And who did you rely on? Because you got a game that you've played since a little boy, and that's what you do. You live on the court. Not to have that. How did you get through it? And who did you rely on maybe to help you get through it?
At the start of the year during the summer, and then towards the fall when I was playing, I'd say I definitely relied on Peyton a lot. Just looking up to him, being certain players, play styles. He definitely helped me through the summer and just reassuring me that after a tough practice, that it's going to be okay. You got a lot of basketball ahead of you. And then while I was out, my roommate Trey, because he's not playing either because he redshirted as well. So we just kind of bonded over that, sat on the bench, laughed together, just cheered on our team as much as we could.
When you guys, and Cooper Koch, now Iowa Hawkeye once again joining us right now and off the air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday. When you guys all go into the transfer portal together, do you help each other out? Or, I mean, obviously navigating the same waters together. Do you guys communicate on how this person's dealing with something, that person? What was it like being in this portal that everybody talks about?
I'd say the person that I definitely communicated with the most was Price. Just being able to be like, hey, what are your thoughts on this? What are they saying? Have you talked to coach yet? Like all that stuff. You also talk to other guys like, hey, can I get this coach's number? And just like, it's pretty chaotic, but you get through it, and having those guys there with me definitely made it a little bit easier.
Cooper, I'm familiar with your game because you're an Illinois kid. I watched you play in that. For the Iowa fan that didn't get to see enough of you this year, what is your game like, and what do you like to bring to the court that Iowa fans will soon get to know next season?
I think I bring shooting to the court, being able to stretch the floor. But I want to bring just toughness, hardworking, just always giving the extra effort out there. I want to be the first guy to the floor, be the difference maker on the offensive, defensive class.
Absolutely. Cooper Koch is joining us right now. Nice enough to do this on a Monday here in the Quad Cities. I mentioned, and I'm trying to figure out how old your dad is, because I don't want to make him seem like he's super old because he's close to me. I'm 45. You're thinking now, trying to figure out how much. But anyways, Cooper, I grew up watching your dad play basketball. You've been a Hawkeye. I mean, he's a Hawkeye. Did you grow up a Hawkeye fan, and what was that like, knowing the dad wore the black and gold? And obviously it's something that had a draw for you as well.
I think he's 48 turning 49 this year,
okay,
if my math is correct.
Good boy.
But yeah, we had a lot of Iowa stuff around the house growing up, coming to games here at Illinois, at Wisconsin, just anywhere close that we could find a game. There was a lot of Iowa stuff, but in my decision, he wanted to be impartial. He wanted me to make the decision, and I know he was definitely happy when I chose the Hawkeyes.
Taking Iowa out of it, how influential has he been on you? I'm sure you guys have spent plenty of time on the basketball court, in the gym, and all that kind of stuff. What is relationship with Dad like? And I'm assuming it's a pretty close relationship that you guys have got to grow over time with.
Yeah, I'd say he's definitely my biggest influence when it comes to basketball. He's always there pushing me in the gym, and I know I'm calling him after most practices, games, like telling him how I did, asking what I can do better. And he's definitely pushed me through, and I know he's always going to be there for me however long this career takes me.
Cooper, I remember your dad playing, and he was good. What people are looking at this saying, is he? So who's better now? I mean, is young Cooper, has the student surpassed the teacher yet when it comes to basketball?
I don't know. I didn't see him play as a freshman, so I can't really speak on that. But I know he thinks I can be better, and he wants me to be better. So that's the goal, to be better, if not as good as him.
Is there any competitive moments in the gym? Were there any? Are there any more when it comes to father and son and that kind of stuff?
At our old house, we had a big enough driveway to have a 3-point line in a court. So there were some competitive nights out there playing horse, playing pig. He didn't want to play one-on-one. He said his knees couldn't take it anymore. But there was a lot of competitive nights out there in the driveway.
You're leaving something out, Cooper. Who won most of those competitive nights? Did you get the old man ever?
I definitely got him a couple times, but he can still stroke it pretty good. He's still got the shooting touch.
I bet. Cooper Koch, nice enough to join us. A couple more for you before I let you go. You mentioned Iowa fans reached out to you and wanted to convince you to come back. What would you say to Iowa fans? What would your message be to get them to maybe reconnect to the program a little bit when it comes to Iowa basketball next year and the years after?
It's going to be a fun year. I know Coach McCollum's bringing a lot of energy, a new style of basketball, and he's bringing a winning culture. And I know Fran had that for the earlier part of his season, mid part of his career, but we're going to bring that back, and we're going to get back to the Big Ten championship, NCAA tournament. It's going to be a lot of fun.
how do you get fans back at Carver? And your dad can tell you, and you've been there when it's rocking too. I mean, when that place is full and it gets rolling, it's such an advantage for the Iowa Hawkeyes. How do you get, it's the $1 million question, and winning, I think, solves a lot of it. But how do you get fans? You go around campus saying, come to the game tonight. How do you get fans back to the Carver Hawkeye Arena?
I could talk about this for a while, but I think we got to move the students a little bit closer, get them more engaged with the game. And I think we got to give them dollar beers, something like that. If that's going to help them get them there, then that's what we got to do. And I think being more out in the community, like you said, not only with like the coaches, but also with the players, like going out and recruiting people basically to come to the game.
I tell you what, you build it, they will come. And I think that you're exactly right. Make it so you have to go to the Iowa basketball game. If you missed out, shame, especially as a student, if you missed out, shame on you. You just missed out on a great game and all of that kind of stuff as well. Cooper, one more for you before we let you go. When it comes to guys on this team, and obviously, have you met Bennett? Have you reconnected with some of the guys, and obviously you're building this as you go. How excited are you to be a foundation, for what's to come next season?
I have connected with Bennett. We've been texting a little bit. I think he's coming to campus here in the next few weeks, so I'm excited to officially meet him and work out and play with them. And it does mean something to be part of this foundation with this new coaching staff, new style, and it definitely means something more to be a Hawkeye and to be part of this family.
Well, Cooper, I appreciate you doing this. Super excited that you're back. A friend of mine, Blake Humphrey, is related to you somehow. I feel bad for that. Yeah. I know it's not blood related, so we'll make sure we won't connect you too much with Blake. But I appreciate you doing this. I'm already recruiting you. Speaking of recruiting your guys, I'm already recruiting Cooper to come play some golf at my dad's golf outing this year as well. A pretty good golfer, a decent golfer, Cooper? Are you?
Decent golfer. I wouldn't say pretty good.
Okay. And I told you I was done, but if you get one, if you drive one good, and it might not be consistent, but if you get that drive, what's it doing? How far are you hitting it?
If I connect on it really good, I can hit it 320, 330. But
I hate you young kids. You young whippersnappers. Well, I'd love to see you in June. We'll chat later with all that and all that kind of stuff. But best of luck. Stay healthy. I appreciate you doing this, and we'll see you in black and gold next season. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. That is Cooper Koch, the former, now new Hawkeye, if that makes any sense. Cooper Koch back in the fold for the University of Iowa. We got a lot more to get to on today's show. Coming up, we go from Hawkeyes to Cyclones. Former Iowa State cornerback Darien Porter, former Bettendorf standout, joins me as he gets ready for the NFL draft. That and Pat Anger later on in the show. It's a jam-packed Monday right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak, with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo, now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Quad Cities, it's time to bring the noise. Saturday night, April 12th, the Steamwheelers take on the Barnstormers in a hard-hitting Union Night showdown. We're honoring area Union members with a night of football action and ice-cold beers for only $1. Union members receive $5 off ticket thanks to Tri-City Building Trades Council and Union Locals 91, 25, and 145. Round up your crew and come cheer on the Wheelers. Get your tickets at steamwheelersfootball.com/tickets. And we'll see you on April 12th.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with.
View from the West, the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
View from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad City's best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves. Welcome back to Off the Air on a Monday here in the Quad Cities, Monday, March 31st. We want to thank Cooper Koch for taking the time to join us this morning. Pretty exciting. Hawkeye goes to the portal, back to being a Hawkeye once again. It'll be interesting to see what other former Hawkeyes, Josh Dix, Bryce Sanford, end up doing as Ben McCullum builds his first team at the University of Iowa. Also, we saw the Steamwheelers in the commercial break. A big week for the Steamwheelers as well. They're now 2-0. So congratulations to them. We're super excited to have the Quad City Steamwheelers as a sponsor here of Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. So you saw a great game coming up with them. And their next home game is April 12th. So excited about that. And each and every Wednesday, we'll be joined by either Corey Ross or a player. We'll do some Steamwheeler Wednesdays coming up throughout the next 2-3 months, 4 months maybe, right here. Hopefully they keep playing for a long, long time right here this season. So we wish the Quad City Steamwheelers the best of luck. Speaking of football, I know football season ended recently. We're talking a lot of basketball, but the NFL draft is now 25 days away. It starts on April 24th, and it's going to be a good weekend for one local product because Darien Porter, former Bettendorf standout and former Iowa State Cyclone, is now projected to be a second-round pick in the NFL draft, maybe a first-round pick. So obviously he's done a fantastic job in what was a slow start to his college career. So recently we caught up with Darien Porter and talked to him about his journey at Iowa State, Bettendorf, and more importantly, the NFL draft and what's to come. So without further ado, here's Darien Porter. And we're joined now by a familiar face here in the Quad Cities, former Bettendorf standout, former state track champion, Iowa State grad, and now his eyes on the NFL. Darien Porter joins us right now. Darien, I appreciate you doing this. I've been a little annoying to you the last month, so I appreciate you taking the time and chatting before what's going to be a big month of April for you.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me on.
I want to talk about the draft in a second, and all that stuff is fantastic, but I want to start with Iowa State because it was a great journey for you at Iowa State, one there where patience kind of paid off, and you finally got your chance last season, and you played outstanding at cornerback. Kind of talk about the process in getting there, because it was something where you had to be a little patient before you got your opportunity to shine.
Yeah, so obviously I was there for 6 years, and I played my first 3 seasons at wide receiver, primarily just a special teams player though. But in the spring of 2022, Coach Campbell approached me about switching over to corner. We had lost some guys in the secondary that spring, and TJ Tampa was a familiar name that had made that transition from receiver to corner. And just because of my athleticism and physical skill set, Coach Campbell thought that I could make that transition and see similar success that he did. So I was a rotational guy the next 2 seasons, and then obviously this past season got my chance to be a full-time starter, and kind of took advantage of it and had a good last year for sure.
You make that transition to defense. What was that like? Obviously, it's something that had intrigued to you because you saw the success of teammates before you, but it's one thing getting the ball and the other thing preventing a guy from getting the ball. Is there a different mindset when it comes to the switch in position and embracing a cornerback position?
Yeah, definitely a mindset switch, just going from offense to defense. Offense, you can be pretty and be cool, but defense, you got to be a little tough. You got to be a little crazy. So, and especially at defensive back, confidence is the most important thing you can have out there. If you're not confident, then you're going to get beat every single time. So, I definitely had to adjust to that, and I had to switch my mindset just a little bit. But I love football, and I was willing to do whatever to help my team succeed, and also put myself in the best position to succeed afterwards. So, I was very happy with it.
A selfless goal to do that. And you think about it in today's day and age of college football, Darien, you go 2-3 years without cracking the 2 deeps and all that kind of stuff. You're usually skipping out of town and trying to find a better opportunity, a different opportunity. You stayed, you grinded. Was that difficult to do? And talk about that mindset, because today's day and age, it's usually the grass is always greener on the other side. You found the grass green right where you were at with just a little patience and hard work.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. Because we all want to play, we all want to contribute, we all want to do those type of things. But my parents and all my coaches and my support system, I had the mindset that, good things will come to those who work hard. So. And I knew how hard I worked. I knew my work ethic, and I believed in myself. And the switching initially to defensive back was tough mentally because you spend so much time trying to perfect your craft as a receiver, to then be told, hey, it might be best for you to switch over. That was tough, but I embraced a new opportunity and was just ready to get to work. I wanted to make the most of this new position and see where it could take me. So it was really just kind of putting your head down and getting to work. So was it hard at times? Absolutely. But I believed in myself, and, I really didn't want to play for anybody other than Coach Campbell. Him and his staff are the reason why I went to Iowa State, and as long as they were there, I wanted to stick it out with them. You
look at the senior season or your 6th season, you cracked the 2 deeps. That had to be an awesome feeling. But then to get out there and start seeing results, because there's work and there's results, and you got to get paid off at the end and see those things. What was it like to, especially early in the season, to go to Kinnick Stadium, 2 interceptions, kind of make a big play in a huge game in the state? What did it feel like to see the results of all that hard work that you went through?
It was really satisfying just to know like that work was paying off, especially in a game, a rivalry game, where all my friends and family are there and watching and everything. So that was really cool. Even my friends who are Hawkeye fans still, showed me love after the game. So I really appreciated that. But, it was a good boost of confidence for sure. But, it just kind of reaffirmed what I already felt going into the season, that, I had put in so much work and time and, trying to be the best player I can be. It was just kind of showing me firsthand that, I can do this, and that, I can be successful at corner.
Okay, you're being nice to Iowa fans because they were probably nice to you, but you broke a lot of Iowa fans' heart in a huge game. You had to have a little smile knowing that all eyes in the state were on you, and you made 2 of the biggest games in the Cyhawk game, or plays in the Cyhawk game.
Yeah, it was cool. The cynic in me always keeps in the back of my mind that they never offered me for football. So that was like, I hold that in my mind at the moment and everything. So kind of throwing it back in their face. But, it was more so just trying to enjoy it with my teammates and, just happy we won the game in an environment like Kinnick. So, selfishly, yes, I was kind of smug, but, it was still cool.
No, absolutely. Darien Porter joining us right now, former Iowa State cornerback, looking towards the NFL draft next month. Darien, it wasn't just one game. You look at your season last year, opponents' quarterbacks had a passer rating of 4.7 when targeting your guy, a 29.4 completion percentage. You were a legit shutdown quarterback in college football last year. Talk about the entire season. That game in Iowa City, people maybe put you on the map a little bit, but that's an impressive season to put on tape your senior year.
Yeah, and really thankful to, like I said, have guys like TJ that really, bigger corners, athletic corners who really showed me how to play the position and use my physical tools to my advantage. But, also my coaches and my other teammates, for just getting in the film room with me, getting on the field with me, outside of practice, in the summertime, whenever we have free time and just working at it. Because without that, that those results would have never happened. So, I'm really appreciative of everyone being so willing to work with me and spending their time with me and just making that season as special as it was.
Darien, it's nice to have individual success, but then you look at what you're doing and this team keeps winning, and it was a special season for the Cyclones. Kind of talk about that, because arguably one of the best seasons in Iowa State history, and you played a huge role in it. And you can tell, obviously you mentioned Iowa not recruiting you, but you can tell you're a Cyclone. You can tell that you've embraced everything about that program and Coach Campbell. What did it mean to you to be part, and a big part, of one of the most successful seasons in program history?
It really meant everything. That's kind of the whole, that was the whole vision and the goal of, why I went there. At the time, Iowa State had Coach Campbell been there for 3 seasons when I got there, and they were figuring it out, but historically they hadn't seen a whole lot of success. But I believed in Coach Campbell's vision of changing that program and bringing success and relevancy there. So to kind of see that pay off with our first double-digit win season in school history, winning our, what was that, 4th or 5th bowl game in school history. So being a part of things like being part of our second Big 12 championship, it was really cool. It definitely capped off, a great year about everything that I came to accomplish, as a program, was made into fruition. So, I was really happy with it. And, it was awesome to share that with my coaches and my teammates.
Now you go from grinding to getting on the field, and like in a blink of an eye, it probably seems like you're now talked about as, going to the NFL and being a draft pick and all that kind of stuff. Before we get to the combine and a ridiculous time, young man, you're fast. Talk about when did you hear during the season? And it's every kid's dream to, play in the NFL and all those kind of things. But when did you start realistically seeing like, hey, I'm putting together a season that could relate or translate into playing on Sundays in the near future?
Yeah, I think just, I wasn't really too focused on that during the season. I knew that if I continue to play how I was, that everything I ever wanted would kind of be there afterwards. And about the week of the K-State game, I got my Reese's Senior Bowl invite, which was big for me. That was one of the things I wanted to accomplish alongside getting invited to the combine my last year. So that was kind of for me the big that was kind of the moment where it's like you have put together a season and you can go compete with some of the best draft talent in this upcoming draft and show your skills. So I knew that, like I said, if just keep your head down, keep working, everything will take care of itself. But I think that was the moment where I was like, yeah, this is real. Like, you're really putting yourself out there and giving yourself a really good shot.
You've made the most of those opportunities. I want to talk to you about both, and we'll start in order. You go to the Senior Bowl. I heard, I don't know if Carter Bell told me, but you may have gotten dinged up at the Senior Bowl or whatever, but talk about that experience being down there, how you felt you did while you were on the field, and what that did for you as you start this road towards the NFL draft.
Yeah, so I got injured at the end of our practice on Wednesday, so I wasn't able to go Thursday or for the game, but just having those 2 days of practice, interviewing with teams, and practicing in front of scouts against some really great players was really cool. And I think obviously there's some things you'd like to have back, but for the most part, I definitely took advantage of that opportunity and just showcase my skills again in front of like a nice crowd of NFL personnel. And then obviously the interviewing part, just getting in front of teams and being able to talk football and talk about yourself with them, I think that was a really good opportunity too.
Then you get that invite to the Combine. When you went there, did you have a goal? Like, was it 4.3? What was that goal? And obviously you turn a lot of heads when you run that 4.3. What was your goal going in, and then thought process as you accomplished what you did?
The goal was actually 4.2s, so I barely missed it, but I was close enough, so I'm not beating myself up too much about it. But the goal was just the PR and everything. I all the testing, whether it be 40, broad jump, vertical, etc. And I did that. So my RAS was a 9.9. It was one of the highest since they started tracking all that stuff. So even though I didn't get my 4.2, I could still be very happy with how it all went. And I thought it was very successful. And then not even just the athletic drills, the position drills, being out there, I thought I felt great and got a lot of positive feedback from it after that too. So I thought it was great. It was a fun experience, another chance to talk to teams, but obviously getting to showcase your athleticism in front of those types of people was really awesome.
You mentioned feedback. Boy, just being here and watching and social media and everything, there was some great feedback, what was the feedback you got after that Combine? And I don't want to say your life changed, because it's not like it was life changing, but boy, stock changing. You got a lot of positive feedback that helps you out a ton when it comes to April, didn't you?
Yeah. It definitely, the Combine helped my stock. But everyone was just my agent was very happy with it. The people I was training with were happy. My parents, I got a lot of, all my friends and everything were very, very supportive of that experience. So that was the cool part for me. But, just going out there and being able to do what I did, I was very happy with it. And, definitely helped myself out for the draft coming up, no doubt.
Meeting teams and talking with teams. Was there any question that was weird that got you caught off guard? Was it, those are, you can go run and do all that kind of stuff. You're used to that. But I've heard some fun things about the actual interviews themselves. Was there any weird question that got you off guard? How was that side of things down at the Combine?
I think the most common question that never really caught me off guard, because I was ready for it and ready to answer it, but everyone was very curious to why I only started one season. I think I had formal interviews with 6 teams, and they all asked that. So, just got to give them the truth. I just wasn't ready to play. I was still figuring out, the cornerback position, and I'm still figuring it out. But for me, I was just tell them that the progress you see every year, should kind of eliminate any concerns, because I'm just getting better. And my best football is still yet to come. So I think that was like the question. Everyone wanted to know how fast I was going to run. I would just tell them it was going to be fast. So those were like the 2 questions that I thought they were funny to me, but I got those a lot.
And I want to ask you one more on the 40, because you are a state champion in track. Did you just go back to that? Did you, preparing wise? I mean, that you're fast. You've seen it on the track. But how did your track career maybe help out, getting ready for the biggest quote unquote race of your life in Indianapolis?
Yeah, I think, my running mechanics were, obviously pretty perfected. And when I trained down in Fort Lauderdale at this place called XPE. When I get there and we're testing and they knew my track background, they were saying, we're not going to make you faster on the back end necessarily because your back end speed is great. For them, it was all about making sure we're getting enough explosion and acceleration out of the start, especially with someone who's a little taller like I am. But, that's where track comes in. I've been coming out of blocks and, accelerating getting up to speed fast for, since I was 13. So it wasn't a huge learning curve for me. I think it was really helpful. Being a multi-sport athlete and just running track, I think, is great for any athlete. You learn a lot and it just helps you get faster. So it was definitely helpful. My years of running track, all my different coaches, just perfecting my form and making me faster as the years go along. It's a credit to them as well.
Darien Porter, Iowa State cornerback, joining us right now and Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Well, let's talk draft. Before we talk about anything, did you grow up a fan of a certain team in the NFL? Were you a Bears fan, Packers fan? What were you growing up?
I was a St. Louis Rams fan. My dad is from St. Louis, but when they moved to LA, he jumped ship because they're not his hometown team anymore. But I was actually born in San Clemente, which is about an hour and a half from LA. So for me, it kind of worked out for me still. So I was like, I'll just stick with them. I won't. And it's this team I'd always loved, and I didn't really want to support anybody else. So I'm a Rams fan, but maybe that'll change in a month or so. But we'll see.
Absolutely. I'm a draft dork. I'm a Lions fan, and usually that's the biggest time of year for me because they weren't good for so long. Now they're good. But so I love mock drafts. I'm a dork with it. So I look at all of them all the time, even with the Lions drafting, 30th or whatever they're doing, 28th, whatever it is. Do you look at mock drafts? Do you allow yourself to do that and look and see, okay, Yahoo's got me here and Fox has me here and ESPN has me here? How much do you look at that and read into that kind of stuff?
Well, I'd be lying if I said I never looked at it. But I think for me, I don't really put too much stock into it just because, you don't really know. I mean, even up until this point, teams are still scouting and looking at all their draft eligible talent. So you just never know what a team's going to do. But, I like to see where the public kind of puts me at, just selfishly. But, I don't worry about it too much. I know my name will get called at some point. So, just hoping that with everything I've done, it'll be as high as possible.
Were there teams there that showed more love to you than maybe others did, or is there teams that you were more intrigued by than others as you met with certain teams and all those kind of things?
Yeah, so I met formally at the Combine. I met formally with the Texans, the Falcons, the Bears, the Lions, the Panthers, the Chiefs, and I'm forgetting one. Oh, and the Lions, actually. Funny you say you're a Lions fan.
Yes, sir.
So I would say those teams probably, at least at that point, I would think would be the most interested, or at least just wanted to know more about me. But, I had a visit with Atlanta last week, and I have two more with Seattle and Buffalo coming up. So I would say those guys are at least showing the most interest just because they want to bring me out to their facility and everything. But, I don't really, I've enjoyed being able to talk to all teams and just getting that opportunity to talk in front of head coaches and position coaches and scouts and all that, and, special teams coordinators, all that stuff is really cool. And I've enjoyed it all. So I don't want to say I have any favorites yet. Most
people don't care about this question, but it's my show, so I can ask it. What was the interview like with my beloved Detroit Lions? Do you remember who you met with and all that kind of stuff?
Well, I could tell you Dan Campbell was in there. he was right front and center.
Dan Campbell's right here, Darien. My Dan Campbell bobblehead is right here. So go on. Tell me more.
I want to say DC and, and defensive back coach, and then just, a string of personnel. There was a lot of people in there, and we only had 20 minutes, so we weren't too good on introductions and stuff. But I do know those three were in there for sure.
Is Dan Campbell as intense in a 20-minute meeting as he is on the sidelines and what you see in the NFL?
He's a big guy, and I forget he played in the NFL. And when I walked in, he was standing up. I shook his hand, and I was like, "Good Lord, this guy's hand is massive." But he was pretty cool. He didn't say a whole lot. He more so just listened and took notes. But he was still really chill. We talked a little bit during and after. So intense, like fired up, constantly all the time, definitely. But he didn't have much to say, really.
All right, enough with my Lions. Going ahead to April, it is less than, what is it now, 3 weeks away? Less than 4 weeks away? 3.5 weeks away from the draft? It's the 24th, so it's getting there. Do you have a thought process, a goal? Do you say, I want to be a second-round pick, I want to be an elite first-round pick, I want to be – does it matter? Or obviously you want to go as high as you can, but how do you prepare yourself mentally for probably a roller coaster ride over the next couple weeks?
I don't really. I mean, obviously, like I said, I want to be drafted as high as I can. But, like I said, I know my name's going to get called. So where doesn't really matter. It matters, but it doesn't. Just as I know whoever drafts me, I'm going to give them everything I have, and they're not going to regret it. So, I'll just be excited to, get the phone call and see my name and enjoy that with my family and everything. But, I know it's coming at some point. It's just, it'll be a little anxiety inducing, just kind of waiting around. But I'm excited. I'm excited for sure.
Absolutely. A few more for Darien Porter before I let him go. He gracious enough to let me have all this time with him. Do you have draft plans? Now, I never got close to anything like this. The closest athletically I got to this was probably winning a Bettendorf C-League title playing men's rec league. But how do you plan on getting ready for the draft? Is it family and friends? Do you have a little party? Have you even thought that far ahead? Or do you have draft plans as you get ready for the NFL draft in April?
Me and my family have talked briefly about it, about having a party. So it'll probably just be, family, some of their friends they want to invite. I'll invite some of my friends if they're in town. And then, I am going to invite my position coach, Coach Poteet, because I wouldn't be here without him. So he'll be there. And but other than that, it'll probably be pretty low key. I don't want to do anything too crazy, but I want the people there that matter to me the most, I want them to be there for sure.
Recent history in the NFL in the Quad Cities. I don't want somebody's going to watch this and say back in the 80s or 90s or whatever, but I'm saying recent history. The Quad Cities hasn't had a ton of guys go to the league. Obviously, Logan Lee was drafted last year from Orion. I think David Johnson was a third-round pick from Clinton. That knucklehead coach who actually was on the staff at Bettendorf with you, Pat Anger, was drafted in 2009, probably, Julian Vandervelde in 2010. But it's not like it's been a ton. What does it mean to hear some of those names and join that company? I know Clinton's not technically Quad Cities, but when it comes to our area, what's it mean to represent the Quad Cities, a place that I'm sure still is very important to you?
Absolutely. And, I was great friends with Logan Lee. So, I was really happy for him seeing his name get called. And then obviously had Coach Anger as a coach at Bettendorf for a season.
No. You're not going to call him Coach Anger here. No, Pat. It's Pat now. All right. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I had to jump in.
But that was I know the company that, I'll be joining, and it's an honor. I wasn't born here, and but I've spent the last 11 years of my life in Bettendorf and in Iowa, and I've met a lot of my closest friends and had a lot of great, teachers, coaches, a lot of positive influences on my life being here. And, I'm just really thankful for this chance, but also to share it with the community, that I do live in. I think it's very special, and it's, a very great place. So I'm very happy with that.
I love it. Two more for you. Bettendorf, we mentioned Coach Anger. Pat's on the show with me a lot, so I can't call him Coach Anger. I don't know if that's a good thing, but those other Bettendorf coaches, Coach Frecking, Coach Wiley, talk about that, because you talk about your coaches at Iowa State, but I know those guys at Bettendorf laid a great foundation for what you're now able to achieve. How important are those guys still in your life, and what they meant to you at a young age?
They kind of mean everything to me too. They definitely helped lay that foundation and my mindset of work, and everything will work out. They definitely got me physically ready, not totally, but not physically in the sense that I was jacked up and 190 pounds, but the workouts that we did at Bettendorf and our practices, were very similar to how a college workout is run and how college practices are. So it wasn't a huge shock to me, going from Bettendorf to Iowa State, because they're both very intense, and I'm very thankful for that. And Coach Wiley, Coach Frecking, Coach Byrne, Coach Gersh, all the coaches, even down to my freshman year coaches like Coach Spires and Coach Mathis, they were huge, and I'm very appreciative of them all, just for being great influences and teaching me the game, and just letting me showcase my talent. So I'm very appreciative of them. They all mean a lot to me still.
One more for you. You in 3-4 weeks are gonna have a little money. Do you have plans? Like, do you know, like, hey, I'm gonna get drafted. I have a little money. I gotta treat myself to something. Do you treat yourself at all? Do you have, what's that first purchase that you're gonna have when you're making NFL money? Are you gonna go put it in the bank? How do you plan on? Do you treat yourself when you get drafted?
I mean, I will be working with a financial advisor, so I won't make any crazy purchases. Obviously, I'll be getting down to my team pretty quickly after the draft, and I'll have to find housing and everything. But I do want to buy a new car, so I'll probably I would say at some point, a new car would be my first purchase. But even though I will have a lot of money, I don't want to just splurge, because the NFL income is here and then it's there when you stop playing. So I think it's important to be smart and find ways to invest your money and make it last as long as you can.
You are the furthest thing from Pat Anger I've ever heard. You are smart, well-spoken, all those kind of things. You make Bettendorf look fantastic. On the flip side, Anger is, he's something. So, hey, I appreciate you doing this. I know I was annoying and all those kind of things, but I'll bug you again when you hear that name called and all that kind of stuff. I wish you nothing but the best of luck. I remember covering you in high school. I think I called your name. If I had a dime for every time I called Darien Porter's name in football or track or whatever, I probably could retire and not have to do a show in my loft. But I appreciate you doing this. I wish you nothing but the best, and we'll talk soon.
Absolutely. Thank you for this opportunity, Matt.
Awesome. That is Darien Porter, the quarterback from Iowa State, getting ready for the NFL draft coming up. It starts on Thursday, April 24th. We got more to get to on Off the Air. We'll be right back. When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with.
Quad Cities, it's time to bring the noise. Saturday night, April 12th, the Steamwheelers take on the Barnstormers in a hard-hitting Union Night showdown. We're honoring area Union members with a night of football action and ice-cold beers for only $1. Union members receive $5 off ticket thanks to Tri-City Building Trades Council and Union Locals 91, 25, and 145. Round up your crew and come cheer on the Wheelers. Get your tickets at steamwheelersfootball.com/tickets. And we'll see you on April 12th.
All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist. God, am I hungry. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo on a Monday here in the Quad Cities. Monday, March 31st, the last day of March. April Fools is right around the corner. And speaking of one of our favorite April Fools, that just came to me as I did it. I didn't even script that out. That worked out great. Our favorite April Fool, the smiley Pat Anger, joining us. Hi, friend.
How you doing, Matt?
I'm good. You look like you're in California, but you're wearing your winter coat. I don't know if I like those.
You like these things?
Where'd you get them?
Cool. They're really, I don't know, online somewhere.
Did you beat up some kid on your son's baseball team and take their sunglasses again?
No, actually, it's funny with these glasses. I Googled like glasses that fit people with big heads.
No, you didn't. Did you?
I did. Yeah, I did. And yeah, these came in, and my wife's like, "Oh, those are nice glasses," and I'm like, "Yeah, they're for guys with big heads." And she's like, "You don't have your head's not that big."
That's nice of her. That's so nice.
Yeah.
So like, if I put those on, I could like weld and like do stuff like that. They'd be like safety glasses for me. Well, you look good.
Yes.
It looks nice outside. I can't wait to get outside. Is it cold though? It looks nice, but it's pretty cold, isn't it?
Yeah. I get a little chilly, I get a little chilly out here sometimes, but yeah, it's all right. It's brisk.
That's because you're so skinny. Like you got to put some meat on you. No,
you're
that's
right.
not why.
I agree.
I do have a lot to talk to you about today. I want to talk about your weekend. Not a lot, but I don't know if you were watching, but we just had Darien Porter on. And for him to turn out that well after being around you at any point is a miracle. Your thoughts on what you've seen him do? And actually, I know he's not your position. You weren't coaching the wide receivers, thank God, at Bettendorf. But to see him have the success he had, it's pretty cool for you, isn't it?
Yeah, and luckily, I think the reason why I had all that success is because I wasn't heavily involved in his upbringing. He's a great kid, and he's always just done things the right way and just been a tremendous human being, and extremely athletic. The dude's the fastest guy in the world. So it's really cool to see him have that success, especially, he grinded it out. Like obviously he talked about it. He didn't play until his 6th year. How many guys would have left? How many guys would have got pissed and left? And dude, he's paying the rewards for sticking through. Like you don't have guys like that anymore in college sports, not just football. And it just shows that any organization that has him, you're going to get a loyal kid that's going to do things the right way and have success. And that's a kid you want in your program.
All right. Pretend a couple thousand people's not watching this. It's just you and me. And you're a Hawkeye, but he talked about Iowa State and their culture. And, that's why he wanted to stay. That says something about that place, that if you work hard, you keep working, you prove yourself, and you can eventually make it. Same thing, he kind of talked about the foundation of Bettendorf, but that's kind of cool. I know you're a Hawkeye, but I think Matt Campbell and those guys do it pretty good up there in Ames, don't they?
Well, I think what helps, they are doing a good job. Yes. They are doing a good job. I think what helps is when you get a Bettendorf kid, because you come from a culture that's very similar, to good programs like Iowa and Iowa State and the stuff that they're instilling in you. We've been instilled in that our whole careers. So it's a pretty easy, and not, I wouldn't say seamless, but it's a pretty easy transition as far as, hey, you do what we tell you to do, you're going to have success. And that's what you do at Bettendorf. And that's what we're taught. So yes, Campbell is doing a good job at Iowa State. And I'm looking forward to announcing the game next year when we beat them.
You literally went, eh. Like,
yeah.
Well done. And he mentioned some of those guys, and you know them, Kevin Fracking, Aaron Wiley, those guys. But that's the same dudes that influenced and helped your career. Still doing it with Darien Porter, and still doing it to this day as well.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like your kids, right? You try to teach them the same thing and they all end up differently. Like me and Darien are very different. He's like very well spoken, very educated, like just the greatest guy.
Classy.
And then you've got this idiot over here. Yeah, just like the guy you want to bring home. You wouldn't be sad like if your daughter brought him home. But yeah, it's funny how it works. We're all different, but we do all have a little bit of level of. Yeah, you got to be a little bit of an a-hole to be successful in college football, and luckily Darien's got that. And I was really upset that he got those 2 interceptions against Iowa. That wasn't great.
That was it. I remember watching the game, going, "Oh, that's awesome!" And like I think Charlie looked at me like, "What?" Like I thought he was going to hit me. I'm like, "Well, no, it's a local kid," and he didn't care about it being a local kid one bit.
It was hard having a microphone too, because I want to be like, "Great job, Darien," and then it's like, "Oh, I can't." But no, it's good to watch a kid like that have success, because he's kids you want to succeed, and he's a good one. He's a good representative of our area.
He ran a 4.3 flat in Indianapolis. What did you run in your 40? Do you remember that? Do you remember the combine pretty well?
I was 4.7 and then 4.6 at the pro day. Nothing crazy.
Is that what you wanted to be? Like, was it a big deal for you or no? It seems like a huge deal now. It seems like a big deal, and I don't know. I mean, obviously for cornerbacks, wide receivers, running backs, blah blah blah. But was it a big deal for a linebacker from Iowa?
I think when you're going in there and you're at that stage of your life, you think it's a big deal, but then you get there and you realize to me it's not. For a linebacker, it's not. I mean, for a corner, obviously it is. You can't be running a 4.7. I remember I had so much time. I had so much off time training for the combine, because we'd like lift and do all this stuff, and then we had time to do whatever. I bowled so much I got tendonitis in my knee and like hurt my knee bowling. So that was tough. And the one thing I want to say about the combine, like I'm so impressed with guys that do well there, because there is no worse environment to perform. You don't sleep, you're in meetings all the time, your nutrition's terrible. So for him to go in there, and I know he said he wanted to go, 4.2, but I mean, gosh, 4.3. I mean, can't get much faster than that. It's super impressive.
You look at it too. It's a huge stadium full of nobody. I mean, that's weird too. Like there's nobody
it's
in
like
this.
Playing at Iowa State.
That's really well done. It's more Illinois than Iowa State.
Yeah,
but,
that's true.
But it works for either. It works for either.
But you're an Illinois fan, so I didn't want to say anything.
You know me. ILLO. That's me. Do you have any good combine stories of like weird questions or weird meetings or fun meetings or anything?
I mean, none of the meetings were really that. It wasn't fun at all. It really wasn't. I got there and they lost all my luggage. I didn't have anything until like the last day. I didn't have any of my stuff. All the clothes they gave me were for like a normal fitting linebacker and not a 5'10" dude. So everything was just big and baggy. They'll bring you into a room, and I don't know if they do this anymore, but like they'll bring you into a room and you're in your spandex and just that, and then they'll read off everything that's wrong with you. And then all these doctors will come in and like pull on your arm or pull on your leg and be like, oh, I want a MRI of this, or I want a, CT scan of this. And it's just the weirdest. It's weird. And then like you do all that for 2 days or 3 days, and then you go run. Dude, what's good? And then you go home and you're like, what just happened?
Do you say anything when the doctors are doing this? Is it a conversation? Do you tip them at the end? Maybe.
Yeah, right. No, not really. Yeah, I remember one of the Colts trainers coming to me after I had gotten drafted. He was like, "Out of all the guys, you look the most miserable." And I was like, yeah, it kind of was.
Yeah,
I didn't have any of my stuff, It's just everything.
So,
but it was funny. The Colts didn't even. I didn't even talk to the Colts at the combine or leading up to the draft. I didn't talk to them all. They came over to the combine and did my wingspan, and they were doing that to everybody. But yeah, I had no idea they were going to pick me up.
I don't want to get too draft heavy with you because that's coming up in April and we got to have something to talk about. Plus, we're trying to convince Pat to come to Oscars on April 24th for our draft special show with T-Roy. So I don't want to get overly, but you hear Darien Porter talk about, and it's just awesome because I asked him, hey, what's that big gift that you buy yourself or whatever? Some guys are like a watch or a whatever. And he's like, oh, I'm going to invest it, but that's awesome to hear. And that firsthand, it's a good amount of money, but like, you have to be smart with what you get because it can go away pretty quick. And then you can end up talking in your car to an unemployed guy on YouTube. It can go fast, man. I'm telling you.
It does go quick, and he's got the right mindset. And the one thing a lot of people don't realize is you don't get paid until, like, I didn't get any money until camp. You went through all that stuff. Like, I didn't get paid until, like, I don't know, was it July? I don't know. So like, yeah, you get drafted and drafted in the second round, like, I don't have any money. I don't have any money. Like, my wife was like, we were just racking up credit card debt trying to get through, and she was, trying to get a wedding together. Luckily her parents helped us out and stuff. But yeah, I was a really broke second round draft pick. Like, I remember when we were, cause they make the rookies go like buy, at camp, like go buy, dinner or whatever for everybody, or go buy like Buffalo Wild Wings. And I remember Gary Bragg come up to me, he's like, hey man, can you go get some B-dubs for us? And he was, it wasn't like a bullying thing. And I'm like, yeah. But then I'm like, dude, I don't have any money. And he's like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. I'll pay for it. You just go pick it up. I didn't have $150 to pay for Buffalo Wild Wings, and then like a week later, you make $1 million. It's strange.
And now you're one of the richest people in the state of Iowa. It's amazing how that all works out. It is awesome. Pat Anger joining us now. Pat, when you look at the NFL draft and you get ready for it and all those kind of things, you didn't expect, and this is our last draft question because I want to do more of this later. You didn't expect to get drafted when you did you? I mean, we talked to Darien about a party and all those kind of things. I remember walking out of the set because I was taping something for Sunday, and your highlights were playing in the little TV over in the corner. And I'm like, no way. You talk about knowing when you knew.
Yeah.
Or did you not know till you got the call?
No, I didn't know until I got the call. Yeah, they my agent did a good, like, he was, a lot of people will choose agents, and agents will say, hey, you go with me, you're going to get drafted, this round. And my agent's like, dude, you can get drafted third round, second round, fifth round, or not drafted at all. He's like, we'll figure it out either way. So I had no expectations. And then I had broken my phone. I had one of those little flip phones, and I had broken my phone like the week before. And so then I was using somebody's like pink flip phone. Like, it was a mess. Then I get a call from, the Colts, and they're like, hey, we're going to pick you up. I'm like, really? And the girl goes, just hold on, your family's going to scream. And yeah, I heard everybody screaming.
Oh, that's crazy.
It was weird.
That's crazy. We'll talk
more about that.
And then you came
over.
Yeah, I did.
Drank some beers.
We did. We drank a beer, and it was kind of fun. I think I have it on video somewhere. And now here we are all these years later.
Yeah, look at us. Gosh.
So bad. Did you watch any basketball? I know you're not a basketball junkie, if you will, but did you watch the Elite Eight, Sweet 16, anything like that?
Yeah, I did. It was all on. I would say the game I probably watched the most was the Florida game.
Which is great.
Florida. Yeah. Like,
Texas Tech.
They were down by like 100 points and then won.
No, it was great. So here's the thing that my kids were complaining about today. Playing? Who's that?
Was that who they were playing? Texas Tech?
Yeah,
at that
Texas
time?
Tech, Florida. But it's now all number one seeds. And my kids, even mainly Charlie this morning, was like, this stinks, like all number one seeds. I like that. I want the best teams playing for the national championship. And I don't know how you feel about it, but yeah, Cinderellas are nice. And maybe early in the tournament, that's kind of cute. But I mean, last year was San Diego State was in there, and and North Carolina State, maybe just some weirdness. Do you like seeing the best of the best play for a national championship? Shouldn't that be the way it is?
Well, I think that obviously with the tournament, that's what you try to get. What I like about it is like, hey, they finally got it right. They got the seeding and everything right. I mean, because has this ever happened? The all one seeds?
It has, but I can't remember when. There's a talk show host that does homework that has all that information. Pat, I didn't, but yes, it's been a while. It's been a minute since it's happened.
I think it's cool, but it's kind of like, is this kind of what's going to be from now on with the limited amount of upsets? Is it because of the NIL? Is it because of all that stuff? Is that kind of why? Like, I don't know. You're a sports guy. I'm just a banker.
No, I think it's because of the NIL. Like, if you're a good mid-major, your guys are gone. And so maybe if you build, you might get it. It's crazy. The chalk is what they call it in the sports game, in the gambling game, if you will. The chalk kind of dominated. So, and it makes for I think good television next weekend and in the championship game and all that kind of stuff as well. I like it. But yeah, it's completely changed. This transfer stuff, Pat, is crazy. Like, people are coming, can you, and I'm not bashing Josh Dix or Peyton Sanford at all, or Price, because they got to do what they got to do and all those kind of things. But can you imagine halfway during your Iowa career, you kind of going into this little quote unquote portal and then going and visiting other Big Ten teams and then deciding what you want to do? Isn't it weird?
I think it's just weird they call it the portal. Like, that's a weird. Should have called it something else.
Well, rename
Portal's just weird.
Well, come up with something.
I don't know. Call it like something cool.
Well, that's your homework.
I don't know.
That's your homework, is to come up to rename
transfer
the
portal's
portal.
Just weird. It just sounds weird. The transfer portal. Like, it's just, I don't know.
But I'm trying to think, like, let's say you played Wisconsin a month before the season got done, and then a month later you're in Wisconsin touring their stadium and talking to their coaches about possibly playing with them. When you just went to battle against them in the conference like a month later, that's just strange to me.
Yeah, it's especially too like literally 2 months ago, I was trying to rip your quarterback's head off, and I said terrible things to everybody on your team, including you, Coach. But hey, can you take me? Yeah, that is strange. Now that you think about it.
No, it's
I literally tried to hurt everyone on your team, and now I'm trying to join. Yeah, I don't like that, man. It wouldn't be good. It'd be an awkward conversation.
Kirk Ferentz spoke with the media last week. When I say the media, I mean Tom Kager, because that's just I envision Tom just sitting there asking all the questions. I know everybody else is there too, but Tom's the best. What do you get out of spring ball? Like, it's starting up, it's rocking and rolling. Was there a spring that was more important to you? Was there a spring that you're like, God, just get me through it? I assume that, like, the younger guys need spring. The older guys are like, just get me through spring.
My spring ball going into my junior year was huge for me. That was kind of when I was making that turning point, and that's when Coach Norm Parker brought me over and was like, "Hey, you're having a great spring ball. Like, you're going to play a lot next year." Like, that was big for me. And I obviously young guys, it's huge. For Iowa, it's even bigger. With the offensive coordinator, being new and really. I mean, I bet he probably put in 10% of his offense last year because of all the quarterback situation, all that stuff. So this is a huge and very important spring ball for the Iowa offense. And obviously you're replacing a lot of guys at key positions on the defense as well too, with new linebackers coming in. You don't have that veteran group, and granted they're veteran enough, but you don't have the guys that have that many games behind them. So no, this is a super important one, and I can't wait to get up there and check it out.
Do you have plans of getting your eyes on practice one of these days soon? And if you do, I'm excited that you don't have to rely on Tom and I for all your information next year, that you can actually do your own homework and get up there a little bit. But do you want to go? Obviously, when do you plan on going? And what are you looking for as a color analyst now for the Iowa basketball team, or football team, excuse me?
Yeah, I should be for the basketball. That would
that'd be great.
Honestly, I pretty much just want to get up there and hang out with Max. That's my big thing. Just want to snuggle up with Max, get yelled at, get made fun of. No, I plan on getting up there hopefully before it's over. I don't know. It's looking at my schedule. Life's a little crazy, but
it is
I need
not.
to get up there.
It is not. Stop it.
It's nuts. It's nuts, Matt. It's nuts.
But when you do get there, what do you want to see?
I want to watch. I want to see how guys move around defensively. See what if anything's new on offense. See the new running backs. Obviously they were there last year, but watch how they're fitting in. Any new schemes or anything like that they're running on the offense, and see our O-line, how it's looking. I mean, just watch everybody move around. Will be interesting, and it's always fun to watch practice. It's always fun to be up there and see those guys. The hard part is usually Coach Ferentz will have, if I'm up there, if some former players up there, he'll make them give a speech at the end. So I got to figure out what I'd have to say. Usually it's just cuss words.
Call Grandpa Gary. Is that what you and Corey call him, Grandpa Gary?
Yeah.
Call Grandpa Gary, Corey, and just go up there, watch practice, go hang out like the old days. You guys probably, the three amigos haven't been around for a while.
I miss those guys. Yeah, Gary texted me last week. I couldn't make her. No, he texted me about something about going to practice this week, and I couldn't make it. But we're gonna get a time. We're gonna have the three amigos get together, and we're gonna take over the world.
So you used to be the young rookie that was excited to do anything for this broadcast team. I feel like you're a little entitled this year, being year number 2. Is that true?
Oh, watch it.
Is that?
I didn't get to any spring ball last year.
Okay, that's right.
I didn't get to anything.
When were you named last year? When were you officially named? Do you remember the date?
Was it was end of May or June or something like that? It was decently late, I feel like.
I gotta find out. We gotta have a celebration. We're gonna have a party that day.
We should.
It's gonna be the Pat Angers birthday show. Oh, it's gonna be maybe you can get the three amigos together. Maybe you, Dolph,
amazing.
and Corey could all be on the show that day.
We need Corey on there. We need him. We need his knowledge.
Cool. He will only come on all ears. He won't come on off the air. But if I change the name of the show to all ears, I think Corey would come on. But I'm writing it down. We got to get the three amigos together for Pat's year anniversary. They didn't think you'd make it a year. Take that, critics.
No, nobody did.
Yeah.
Everybody thought maybe like a quarter, So, hey, who's dumb now?
People would literally giggle and say oh, how long do you think he's going to last? And I'd be like, he's going to be good. And they kind of do a double take. I'm like, no, he's not an idiot. It's not like he's texting Joe Conklin. He's actually on air. He knows to behave himself. He does that stuff at other times. So, before I let you go, how was your weekend? What did you do? You still don't have youth baseball because I was at my family had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games this weekend.
How'd they do? I saw the one, you said the one was in the semis. Did they end up winning it?
One took second, which is first loser. He's 8, but you got to let them know when they're 8. You have to let them know when you're 8.
You get a ring, right?
You got you're a loser, Carson. That's what I said to him. I said, you're a disappointment. You're a loser. When you're second place, you're first loser. That's all you are. I said, get out of here. No, I'm
Did
just
they
kidding.
get? They don't give rings at Hitman tournaments, don't they?
No, this one was down in. This was in.
Hitman tournaments, they give ribbons because they don't have enough money to pay to fix their parking.
I should.
So they just
they fixed the parking, Pat. Come on out and enjoy it. It's fixed. I knew that's what
it better be because I got to pay $15 every time I go into that.
Hey,
dang
12 and under are free. Is that way over TBK?
That doesn't help me. No, you just put your kids in a baseball jersey.
You have kids that are under 12. It does help you.
Yeah, you put them in a baseball jersey and you don't have to pay for them. That's how it works.
Shh. Don't give it away. The Jordan Rangel, JP, they love this show. They love this show. They're watching right now. You idiot. God dang it. No, one got a silver medal. He was super pumped. One lost in the semifinals, but they played good. They won 2 on Saturday, and they went 1-1 on Sunday. So, 3-1 on the weekend. And then my freshman that plays JV ball for Alaman, they lost. So, but it's just Pat, Saturday was great. You're outside, you're loving life. It's 70 degrees. Everything's good. And then yesterday it was as many pods as you can find and then layer up. It's just, and then you look out at the kids and they're they're not having fun.
No,
they don't enjoy this.
Not at all.
It's awful. Nope. It's awful for everyone.
Yep.
When do your best baseball players in the world, when do your boys start up?
Gosh. Well, we've got scrimmages and stuff during the week, but as far as tournaments, I think we're off this weekend, and then the following week, then kind of all hell breaks loose.
And then you take Easter off.
I'm not looking forward to it, man. I'm not looking forward to it.
I'm there.
I wish
I'm okay
was.
now.
I need to get a better mindset.
I'm okay now. I wasn't there yet when I started, but this was second weekend for us. And now I'm like, I used to coach them and do that kind of stuff. And now this is my first year without coaching any of them. And shut up. Don't say anything inappropriate. It's not because I was kicked
going
out
to, but I didn't.
anything like that.
Okay.
But it's nice to be a dad. And but I can't, and if any parents or what, I don't, and I'm not being mean to the parents, I just can't sit by people. I just want to be on my own. I don't want to be like, I'll come socialize when I want to, but other than that, like I can't wait till you're at a tournament and then I can get together and we can make fun of our kids together. It'll be a lot of fun. So,
yeah, we had a couple drinks at one of them. That was, we're going to need to do that. Get that planned out.
You got me drunk at one of them. What do you mean a couple drinks?
I like when I'm there and Jen's there and you're at another tournament, then me and Jen can hang out.
She's so much cooler than I am. That's true. What did you do this weekend then?
I don't know.
It was yesterday, man. I'm not asking you like about a month ago.
I don't know. Went just hung out.
It was that illegal. You did so much illegal stuff that you can't even say it on a YouTube show.
It was nothing. I mean, we went to buddy's house, went to in-laws' house, drove kids around to practices. Like it wasn't too exciting. Took the dog on some long
family
walks.
having any get-togethers or no? Just hanging out.
Just hanging out, man.
All right. Just say, I kind of thought that. Are you gonna come to the draft party? Is that official yet? Are you gonna do it?
What is that? When is that? Is that a Saturday?
It's a Thursday night. It's a Thursday night. You're not doing anything.
I don't know. Let me know. Keep me in the loop.
Let me know. Keep me in the loop. Well, that's the best way to. So coming up on April 24th, with or without Pat, we're going to be over at Oscars. Did you know T-Roy? Isn't he great?
I love
T-Roy. Him on here?
I haven't seen him on. He's been on the show.
Wednesdays. He does his own .08 mock draft. Do you get the
He was
0.08?
telling me about it. I saw him at Harrington's a while back. He was telling me about how he was going to go on and do
he's
it.
good.
I gotta check it out.
He's good. Do you get it?
T-Roy's
0.08
great.
mock draft. Do you get it?
No.
0.08 mock draft.
Blood
What's the legal
alcohol,
limit?
0.08.
Now do you get it?
Nope.
No, still don't get it. You got nothing. So he's great, and we're going to be over at T-Roy's on April 24th at Oscars is what I should say. He's got everything, man. Where was he the other day? Willie's Wine and Spirits. Have you been up there yet?
Yes, I have.
You liar! It's not even open yet.
I have.
Have you?
No, I haven't.
I've
driven by it. What's the other place by it?
It's right by Golden Tea or
Whirl?
or Iron Tea. What's up there now?
Iron Tea.
Yeah, it's right by Iron Tea. If you shank something right, it'll go right into Willie's Wine and Spirits.
Not the way we golf, man. Not the way we golf, dude. We hit it. Me and you, we hit it right down the pipe, down the fairway.
The last couple on Friday, Charles Jagasol was on, or Jagasol. Everyone's asking me how it's pronounced. I always said Jagasol. But anyways, he says he hits it 330, 340 if he gets it good. Cooper Koch was just on earlier, and he said that if he gets one really good, like 320, 330. What are you hitting it? You hit it that, don't you?
Like 400 every time.
No, you don't. It's annoying to me because I don't think I've hit anything over 280 in my entire life.
These guys are saying they hit it 320. They're all full of crap. They're all liars.
Are you saying other people cheat at golf?
Yeah, for sure. But also we just talk about how bad we suck at golf, and then we go out and we win tournaments, right? That's what we do. These guys talk about how good they are, and then they show up at the Randazzo outing. We'll kick the shit out of them.
Yeah, bring it. Just a good segue. If you are interested in it, it's the Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf Outing, year number 11, Highland Springs Golf Course, June 14th. Tons of people will be out there. Go to GuyRandazzogolf.com right now, and you can get signed up, and you can watch Pat and I and Joe and our fourth. There's a lot of interesting names in for the fourth, and Ryan Fick's not one of them, which is kind of sad. I mean, right now he might eventually, but right now he's not.
That's tough. It's tough for old Rye Guy.
Yeah, he's going to get his own team, and he's going to come at us, and he'll probably beat us.
Yep.
So we don't want to put anybody on the spot, but maybe a Matt Drinkle, maybe a Gary Dolphin, something like that. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Well, how about both of them, and you guys kick me out?
No, you're still in. We'll just play with 5.
There you go. That's fair.
We won't use Joe's ball.
Never use Joe's. Well, we get the pink ball for a hole, and then Joe usually loses it. So you get the pink ball, and like you can use it. You can hit, one person can hit from the women's tee every single time as long as you keep the pink ball. And we go the very first time every year. Joe tees that sumbitch up, and guys, I lost the pink ball. But he's so good looking, you just don't get mad at him.
He's a good looking dude. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, he can. So, all right, Pat. Well, I feel like you should get back inside. I'll talk to you again next Monday, and hopefully you'll have some more great sunglasses on and stuff like that. You look good.
I got 3 pair of these.
You got 3 pairs? What if you didn't like the first pair? Or did you order 2 more?
I figured it was buy 1, get 2 free. So these are good glasses.
But you didn't think to get like different ones? You just thought to get all the same?
No, I got different ones.
Oh, okay.
Look, these are different color.
Oh, man. I can't afford 1 pair of
sunglasses. Yeah, but these are cool.
I can't afford. You know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to look up sunglasses for guys with small heads because I have big ears but small head. So they'll be able to find me something too. So, all right, buddy, go back inside. Love you.
I love you. See you, buddy.
See you, pal. That is Pat Anger. He joins us each and every week here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Always fun to get his insight. I really do. We got to get him out, and he will. He's just Pat. But we're going to get him up to Oscars for the draft party on April 24th. So instead of doing the show, here's the plan. I'm the boss, so I can say this, and if something doesn't happen and we have to change it, we can change it. But here's the thought process right now. Instead of doing a show from 8 to 10 on that Thursday, we're going to do a show from 5 to 7 leading up to the draft over at Oscars. Everybody can come on out and join us and get drinks and food and all that kind of stuff, and we can watch the draft after the show. So from 5 to 7, T-Roy will be there, myself, Pat Anger, hopefully. I'm trying to convince Julian Vandervelde to come as well. Julian's going to be on the show this week. I got to call him this afternoon. I think he's going to be on tomorrow. And we're going to talk football, and we're going to eat, and we're going to do a bunch of different stuff. It's going to be great. So, anyways, we got one more break to get to. I want to wrap things up by talking about the off-the-air bracket challenge, kind of talk about who's doing well with that, and kind of set up the week ahead because we got a good week planned here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. So if you're watching us live on YouTube, thank you. Subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. If you're watching us on X and you don't know about YouTube, go to the YouTube channel, subscribe there as well. That helps me out the entire time as well. So we're going to hit one last commercial break. We'll be right back on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist. When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with.
Hello, Dan Pearson here of FCA. Our team is thrilled to support Off the Air with our good friend Matt Randazzo. We share the view of the power of sport when it comes to relationships, including the influence of the coach. FCA believes the coach is the most influential person in America. Matt celebrates local coaches and athletes. His content is informational, insightful, and inspirational. Our Fellowship of Christian Athlete team loves partnering with Off the Air with Matt Randazzo while we engage, equip, and empower coaches and athletes in our 23 counties. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
View from the West, the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
View from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad City's best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo on a Monday here in the Quad Cities. Thank you guys so much for watching us. It is Monday, March 31st, the last day of March. April is tomorrow. April Fools is tomorrow. I admit, I love April Fools. I love to mess with people. I used to mess with my old man every single year before he passed away. There'd be days they'd even call him, God bless him. My sister and brother would call him and say, "Hey, Dad, don't forget, it's April Fools and Matt's an asshole," basically is what they'd say. And he would still forget. I'd call him, my car would be broken down, and God bless him. So anyways, I love April Fools. Maybe we'll have some fun on April Fools tomorrow. I don't know how we'll do it, but I do remember one time on April Fools. I'll tell the story again tomorrow, but I was working at WQAD, and Dan Birch was doing the sports, and he did an entire 6 o'clock newscast about just made up nonsense. And then at the end, he said, "Hey, everything I just told you, April Fools, none of it was true." And it was like Kerry Wood was out for the year, some good stuff. And he got back into the newsroom, and people were just calling and complaining and all that kind of stuff. Nobody can have fun. They can't have fun now. They couldn't have fun back in the day. Maybe we need to catch back up with Dan Birch. We'll do that again real soon. It's been a little while since we had the old wild man on the show. So again, we want to thank our guests. Actually, before we start thanking people, I want to get to the bracket challenge. Check that out. The bracket challenge, the Off the Air bracket challenge, brought to you by Godfathers and Snoops and Hungry Hobo. They all chipped in with the prize. Let me look and see. Right now, winning the pool is, and I love this, it's my guy Chad Baker. He's got Houston winning. He's tied with Chad Cook, and I want to check, but I think they both have the exact same way through. Let me look. Houston beating Florida for one of them. I think that was Chad Baker. No, I don't remember. TV at his fact. Houston beating Florida. So they both have it. So if Houston wins and Florida wins, then it'll come down to the tiebreaker, which is awesome. And also in first, I shouldn't say that. There's a three-way tie. I didn't realize it. Scott Morrell, head of basketball coach at Nalaman High School. A good friend of mine is sitting there tied for first. He has Florida winning. So as of right now, he would be looking good if Florida won the national championship. In fourth place, or next, is, I love this, my 8-year-old Carson, and he's got Duke winning it. So I do think that if Duke beats Auburn, then he'll win the pool. I think if Duke beats Florida, if that makes any sense, then my good buddy Jeremy Oakes will win the pool. So a lot of different ways to look at this. My mom is in sixth place. She can't win though, which stinks. But representing Mama Dazzo, representing well. I'm gonna look who's in last place. Charlie's happy that he's not in last place anymore. Brian Stocking is not in last place. He got mad at me when I said he was the other day. He's in 98th place, doing really good. Adam Stroop is second to last place. I don't know who's not winning or who is in last place very well, so I'm not going to call them out on air. But which is it's a crapshoot anyways. So this year it was all about chalk. If you took the favorites, you were going to do pretty good, and that's what's going on right now. So anyways, wanted to update that. Of course, the winner gets a dozen enchiladas and a large chips and salsa from Snoop. They get a large specialty or 3-topping pizza from Godfather's and a $20 gift card from Hungry Hobo. Thank you to 3 of our fantastic sponsors. You saw the commercial today. The Quad City Steamwheelers, a proud sponsor of the show as well. We'll have Wheeler Wednesday coming up this week as well, and every Wednesday throughout the entire Quad City Steamwheeler season. So we're excited about that. We'll have either a player or coach on, either Corey Ross or a player. We'll mix it up every now and then. We'll be on. And also Rafferty Funeral Home, a fantastic sponsor as well. They'll get rocking and rolling tomorrow. Raf, if you're watching this, we got everything already ready to rock and roll. So April 1st is tomorrow. No better time to start with Rafferty Funeral Home than tomorrow. So, and if you're interested and you got a business of your own, you're interested in sponsoring Off the Air with Matt Randazzo, hop on board because things are going okay right now, which is a lot of fun. A big sigh of relief more than anything else for this guy. So again, the great show today. If you missed it, you're just tuning in, go back, check out Cooper Koch was off the top of the show talking about his recommitment to the University of Iowa. After him, Darien Porter, former Bettendorf and Iowa State standout. He's going to hear his name drafted in the NFL draft, called in the NFL draft. Probably second round. I've seen a few first round, late first round. So we'll see how Darien Porter does, but we wish him the best of luck. An outstanding young man. Go check out that interview. He talks about being at Iowa State for 6 years and patiently working hard and waiting for his opportunity. And now he's about ready to make a whole lot of money. So awesome story. Go check out his interview. And then, of course, second hour, we are joined by Pat Nangerer. And Pat is always entertaining. So check out Patrick as well. And tomorrow, I think Julian Vandervelde. I got to double check with him, but I'm hoping Julian Vandervelde. I'm going to try to track down Jess Settles too. But anyways, working on tomorrow's show. Wednesday, we have our Steamwheeler Wednesday. And on Thursday, we have Dave Heller coming in because the Quad Cities River Bandits open on Friday. So Thursday, Dave Heller, we talked to him a little bit last week on Friday. Technology was not nice to me on Friday, but Dave Heller will be here in studio on Thursday as well. So already got some fun things lined up. We're working on a bunch more. So we want to thank you guys for supporting the show, for watching the show. I'm really annoying you guys with it, but subscribe on YouTube. 1,000 is a big deal, and we're getting really close. So, I think there's 2,000 watching on X right now, which is awesome as well. So thank you guys for supporting the show. Tell a friend or 2 or 20 about it as well. And we'll be back tomorrow with a brand new edition of Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Enjoy your Monday. We'll see you guys then.